So I guess this is the first one of these.
Do we look at the camera or do we look at each other?
Well, it's up to you. You can look at me while you talk to me. You can look at the 3 people who will watch this. You can look at whoever you want.
May I look at the floor?
You may look at the floor if you wish. Can I start now? Can I do the intro?
You may.
Okay.
Carry on.
Welcome to this little experiment where basically I realize that I go see a movie pretty much every week, as does Clayton for that matter. Indeed. So we're just going to sit here and talk about them, and we're going to try and do mostly spoiler-free at the beginning, and then we'll eventually warn you when spoilers come up. I haven't thought of a title yet. I'll probably just call it, like, I don't know, Red Couch Reviews if I can't think of anything better, but I'll probably just call it that. Seems simpler.
I agree.
So we're going to start this off with Skyfall, which is the 3rd Daniel Craig's James Bond film. Do you remember any trailers for this?
There was a trailer for The Hobbit, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, The Hobbit looks okay.
It looks amazing. When that song comes on, friend, it is mind-blowing. I get the tingles. The
song's good. I will admit the song's good, but I just find I have a very hard time, and I'm not even a fan of Lord of the Rings. Like, I like the movies, but I've never read the books. I'm not obsessed. But even as someone who's not a fan, the fact that it's being split up into 3 movies takes away a large portion of my excitement.
Disagree. I think it increases my excitement.
How?
Because
you're not going to get a conclusion.
But you're going to get a complete movie.
You know you're going to go in and then be like, oh, I got to wait for the next one. Like, I loved my favorite Harry Potter movie is the 7th one, part 1. That's my favorite one. But even then, I went into it like, oh, fuck. Because I know I wasn't going to get any conclusion.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's the anticipation for 3 years of amazing films, I think is worth it for me. Plus, you know you're getting a complete story, which is the key. I don't care how long the movie is. If the story is complete, as a fan of the series, I think it's important. I guess the first one didn't really end on like a story completing note anyway, if you think about it. They're just still walking towards where they're going. Exactly. Fair enough. Any other trailers? There was a trailer for The Great Gatsby. Oh, that's going to be so good. Yeah. I was very disappointed that they pushed it back from Christmas till May, I believe. What? Yeah, it was supposed to come out on Christmas Day. It was going to be my Christmas Day movie. Oh, that's... And it's been pushed. It's been pushed. I don't know, maybe there was 2 Leonardo DiCaprio movies coming out on the same day, and they didn't like that. Is Django coming out on the same... Django's coming out on Christmas Day. They don't want to split the Leo crowd? They don't. That's fair. I'm excited for Gatsby. Gatsby will be good. Maybe that was going to be a nice beginning to the summer blockbuster season or something. Yeah, I guess, but you would think that if you're going to, because, you know, December and November are your Oscar season times, right? So what's more likely to get you nominations as a studio, Django Unchained or The Great Gatsby? I feel like there's an obvious answer. Yeah, maybe we haven't seen it yet, though, so maybe it's not as Oscar contending as we anticipated. Maybe it's a piece of shit. It's possible. It's not a piece of shit. It looks amazing. It does look good. If worse comes to worse, the trailer is good enough to get me to go see it, because that trailer is almost perfect. Yeah, and I like how they use the like music that's out of place. Usually I'm really against that when they have like music out of place, but I really like it there. It looks good. It looks really good. All right, that's enough about trailers. Skyfall. What'd you think? I enjoyed Skyfall. I personally believe that Daniel Craig is my favorite James Bond. Oof, that's a statement. By far. You're saying he's better than Timothy Dalton. I am saying he's better than Timothy Dalton. That's bold. I am also saying that he's better than Mr. Roger Moore. Although Roger Moore's judo chop is something to be... Yes, Roger Moore. Moore. Yeah, no, I think he's the best James Bond because he takes James Bond into a serious place. Less about funky gadgets. I was discussing this with somebody else today, and you get rid of the gadgets, but he's still using all this technology. He's still slamming the hottest babes. He's still wearing cool suits, drinking cool drinks, and he's doing it all on somebody else's dime. So he's pretty much the ultimate guy. Right? So I think... But I mean, all the other... You've just listed things... I agree with you that I actually like Daniel Craig as James Bond. I'm not against it at all, because I like the more realistic version. And I will go on saying that Casino Royale is probably my favorite or second favorite James Bond movie. I really like GoldenEye.
I'm a big GoldenEye fan.
GoldenEye is pretty
It's
good.
pretty, but it's like the other end of the spectrum where it's like so ridiculous, and that's what makes it awesome. But yeah, no, I'm a fan. I don't know if I'd say he's the best, but he's definitely I'm a fan of. Yeah, I also liked the movie. My kind of thought on it is, it's not quite as good as Casino Royale, but it's way better than Quantum of Solace.
It's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Quantum of Solace,
I think,
pretty awful.
I think I would put it on par with Casino Royale.
Yeah, no, see, the difference... Can't get into spoilers, so I can't go into too much about this, but the reason for me is that I feel like Casino Royale had more of... It had more, like, emotional impact on me.
Okay.
I think, and obviously there's going to be a good comparison there, but like Vespa, there was a lot of emotional attachment to that character, and that's the first time I've ever seen a Bond girl in a movie. I'm reviewing Casino Royale now, but that's the first time I ever saw a Bond girl in a movie that was like, I want James Bond to settle down with this girl.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never felt that about any of the others.
That's a very good point. It was like
Vespa was amazing.
I agree.
She was magical. Anyway, back to Skyfall. So premises, you can do. I have to get another drink. You do the premise. I need a refill.
Okay. The premise of Skyfall is essentially, I don't know. What is the premise of Skyfall?
Well, I'm glad I gave you this job.
yeah. It's going into it. I actually.
You want your drink?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, going into it, I didn't think. I didn't really see. I saw a ton of trailers for Skyfall. But they didn't really indicate what the story was going to be about. Didn't you find that? I thought
no,
so.
They did.
Really?
The trailer I saw, I'll recap it. Basically, you see James Bond get shot off train and is presumed dead. This happens in like the first 10 minutes of the movie, so obviously you know he's not dead. Although that would be an interesting experiment if he actually was dead and the rest of the movie was just like Judi Dench hanging out. And then there's a thing about, they talk about how some guys hijacked all the secret agents, and he's releasing the information of all the like MI6 agents undercover around the world on YouTube, which is the best place to release your secret agent information. So they're getting discovered. So like the one who's working in the Taliban gets discovered and like gets shot. And in the trailer you saw the building blow up. So I knew it had something. I knew it had like something to do with like an attack on M, which is Judi Dench, who's like the ringleader in these movies. And that's
ringleader or leader of the MI6, like basically the CIA of the British government.
Yeah.
So ringleader, I feel, is underclassing Dame Judi Dench there a little.
That's fair. I apologize. But yeah, and that's pretty much the premise of the movie. Is, you know, Bond, he's kind of become an alcoholic and he's all shaky and he's not on his game. Yeah. And like he's failing all the tests. He's not quite as good as he used to be, but they still put him out there to catch this guy.
Yeah, because sometimes he's like Tim Tebow. Sometimes you just win. You know, the guy sucks. He's not as good as everybody thinks he is. But you know what? He wins games. James Bond, he kills bad guys. He might not be the most accurate. He might not be the fastest anymore, but he kills the guys that need killing.
I feel somewhat insulted. I feel like James Bond is much better than Tim
James Bond is much better than Tim Tebow.
Thank you. That's a discredit. But yeah. Okay, well, Daniel Craig was awesome. I especially enjoyed him as like drunk stubble having Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig looks good. He honestly, he looks good in a suit, in a sport coat. He just looks the part of a guy who looks like he can kill these international terrorists. I think that's why I like him so much. Pierce Brosnan is kind of, you know, funny. You know, he looks like whatever, but he doesn't look like he's gonna kill.
He's not. Yeah, you're right. He's not very intimidating.
Which is why I think he's like, you take the Bond into the more serious realm that these ones have taken, and you get something that's a little bit more adult, I think.
Did you notice the balls gun?
The balls gun.
So in the opening of the movie, when he's chasing that guy, this guy pulls out like a pistol to shoot him, but it's got like two Tommy gun clips at the bottom of it that kind of like hang down from the gun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was awesome. It looked like he was firing a cock, but it was pretty awesome all the same.
It was.
And then James Bond operates a crane. which is good training in MI6 where they do like crane training.
They do. You get a complete training package there when you enter the 00. When you earn 00 ranking, you get complete training
on cranes.
We've learned that now over 3 movies.
So with many James Bond films, at least I find that really how good it is very much dependent on how good the villain is. Yeah. So Javier Bardem is awesome in this movie.
I agree. The scene, and I won't spoil it for you here.
No, we can go. Let's just do spoilers. I think we've said enough.
We can spoil it.
Yeah, we're gonna go with spoilers.
All right.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. The opening scene, the scene where when James Bond and Javier Bardem first interact, is James Bond is essentially captured, and that scene is amazing.
Where he talks about the rats, like that monologue, and he's walking towards him,
and like the weird sexual tension between them.
That was awesome. That was so unique. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, he was like,
basically he tells him this big like intimidating story to like get under James's skin or whatever and intimidate him, which obviously doesn't work because he's James Bond and he's super cool about everything. And so then he kind of revises his tactic and he starts hitting on him. Basically. And like rubbing his legs up and down and
caressing his chest
and his cheek, and I was like, that's original, you know? If you're going to like instill fear in somebody.
It is. And you know what? As much as I didn't find it like that he would be scared of that, it was intimidating. It was a sense that this guy is more powerful than you, and I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
I think it was effective.
It was effective, and it also implied something that's never been implied. Like every James Bond villain has always been like, I'm going to torture you. Yeah. And his was kind of like, I could torture you, but I could probably rape you as well.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought that you wouldn't think of, right?
That's
I wouldn't
true.
want Javier Bardem to rape me.
Nope. I can honestly agree with that.
Consensual, maybe. Vicky Cristina was a good movie, but...